Hello, everyone. My name is Katerina Romanenko, and I'm the Executive Director at Diolli.com. And today, together with our beautiful leading matchmaker and founder, Svetlana Muha, we will, as usual, discuss a useful topic. We always try to bring up something very interesting for you, something that you can use. And I'm sure that our subscribers and viewers already know that 2 times a week, we post new videos on our YouTube channel, so we recommend you to sign up for our YouTube channel and to listen and to watch all the videos that we make specially for you. And today we decided to bring up a very interesting topic. I think that it will be interesting and useful for our clients, for our potential clients, for people in general who decide to try international relationship. And today we will talk about long distance communication. And of course, we want to ask Svetlana, because you all know that we work with international couples, that our couples located in different countries, and they have this stage of long distance communication. So it's important to understand which features this communication have, how it differs from offline communication or communication with local people. And of course, it's interesting to ask, first of all, Svetlana's opinion. What are the main differences that people face with when they start long distance communication, and maybe some secrets how to manage it and how to make it really interesting and useful?
You mean the difference between building a long-distance relationship and building a local relationship, right?
Yeah. Yes, right.
Well, I wanted to say I am davon überzeugt. I live in Germany now, so it's complicated with the languages. Sometimes German language takes out all the English words from my head at the precise moment. If we're talking about long-distance relationship, and if we're talking about building a local relationship, I have no doubts that usually couples who build long-distance relationship, they have more romance in their relationship. This experience can be very romantic, truly romantic, if you do it right. Most of the couples we have created over the years, since we are dealing with international dating, they had this stage in their relationship that was long distance. So they were building a long distance relationship for like several months or half a year, during 1 year. Of course, it doesn't mean that they were not meeting in person. They were meeting in person in between. It is crucially important to plan those offline meetings, because you can't build a really healthy, solid relationship only by Zoom or only per emails. You can't do that. So of course they were meeting in between, but these months, 1 month or 2 months, when they were continuing getting to know each other while being separated by the ocean or by several borders, very often after they have settled down together at one territory and after they got married, they recall that this was a very romantic time, because they really get a chance to get to know each other. For some people, it was way easier to open up while writing romantic emails to their girlfriend or boyfriend, because in that emails they were sharing very private stories about their childhood, about their dreams, and they really get to know each other on such a deep, meaningful level. But I have to make a disclaimer here that they have met in person and they were already in a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. So if you haven't met in person, let's say you have met on Tinder or at any dating site, and now you claim that she is your girlfriend, she is not. So you can romanticize this whole experience, but you have to meet in person. You have to build that relationship to a stage when you can call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, and you should have the talk that you are in an exclusive relationship. And after that, you can claim that you are actually in a relationship. So the first difference that I can name is the amount of romance when you do a long distance relationship. Because you get a chance to really miss the other person. You get a chance to think about all the questions you want to ask. You get a chance to write romantic emails, to be very creative about your communication. Very often when people are located actually in the same city or even on the same street, they don't cherish that much this chance to spend time together, to actually meet when they want. So I would call it the number one biggest differences. And of course, building a long distance relationship, it is on the one hand more complicated because you have to be really persistent. You have to really invest time. You have to really make it a priority. And sometimes it is hard to keep in mind that this is a priority because you don't see the other person. You can't just hug the other person and you will miss this physical touch. I think this is the biggest struggle we will face, that you can't actually hug, hold hands, etc. And you can easily get distracted by work, by friends, by something else, things that are like on the arm distance from you, that can distract you from your long distance relationship. So building a long distance relationship, it won't be easy, but all relationship, you can't have it like that. Sometimes clients tell us that I wish finding the one and falling in love was very easy. Well, falling in love is not that complicated, but building a healthy, solid relationship, it takes time, and it is really not that easy.
Mm-hmm. And is there some exact time frame for how long this this step of long distance relationship should last before people meet for the first time and then until they build relationship and move together? For how long it can last, or it's so different for all people that it differs from couple to couple?
If you have met online, let's say you have met on Tinder or you have met at any dating platform, even through the matchmaker, I would say that if you're located in different countries or in different cities, 1 month, maybe 2 months top, and you have to meet. Otherwise, you will grow unrealistically high expectations. I remember during COVID, we have introduced our client to a lady, and the gentleman was from Germany, the lady from Ukraine. And the gentleman and the lady, they were communicating like daily, and they really liked their communication. They were both in their 40s. And they have kept postponing the face-to-face meeting because COVID, traveling was more restricted. You had to wear the mask, you had to do like extra paperwork, and they were postponing it. And we have warned both our client and the lady that like you have to meet, like really, like 3 months, 4 months of communication. It's not getting healthy. Like you are like the pen friends, romantic pen friends, and when you will meet, even if the meeting will be great, your expectations, they will be too high to reach by reality. And this couple, they ended up communicating for almost a year till they met. And of course, when they met, finally, they both have imagined this meeting so many times over this year that then, of course, the real meeting didn't reach the level of expectation of the lady or a man, and unfortunately, they have broken up. So when people sometimes send us emails that I am corresponding with this lady for a year, even if she on paper can be a great match, and she can be in reality a good match for this gentleman, they can have much in common. 1 year of online communication without personal meetings, that's way too much. So if you have met online and you live in different countries, if you are in Europe, well, and it's like a 2 hours drive or a 1 hour flight, and you really like her and you want to have this romantic adventure, hop on that plane and meet. Like 3 weeks of intense communication and let's say Zoom dates, you can have like 2 Zoom dates and then decide to meet. I would say this is healthier. If you're talking about a scenario when you have already established a relationship, and we had a couple, a gentleman was from Australia, a lady from Ukraine, and they got engaged right before COVID. So they were dating and they brought their relationship to the stage of engagement, and they were separated because Australia was closed and you couldn't leave the country or enter a country. 14 months this engaged couple was waiting, and I think she was on the 3rd plane that was actually flying to Australia. because he actually got her tickets to the first one, but the plane was, I think they have double sold all the tickets, so it was overbooked. So she ended up boarding the third plane to fly there, and everything has worked well for this couple. So if you already have a relationship, have this solid base, then of course it can be longer than 3 months or 4 months of separation, depending on circumstances, because sometimes because of work, people have to be like deployed if we are talking about a gentleman who's in the military, and a relationship will last. But if we are talking about a fresh new scene and you have just met each other, then even if you have met once, to make such a long break like 6 months or 1 year, that's not very healthy and really good for a relationship.
Yes, absolutely agree with you that the longer people wait to meet for the first time, the less the chances will be that they really will like each other, and they will have this portrait in their imagination will match the reality. And also, I wanted to say that for our subscribers and for our potential clients, they already know it, and we made already several videos about it, that when the war started in Ukraine, we changed a little our matchmaking process. So now we introduce our male clients to our Ukrainian ladies that are in the Western Europe, in Central Europe, or in Ukraine, but they can move to Europe to meet. So this format has been a little changed because, of course, the safety of our clients is #1 priority for us. And we added this step of communication before people meet in person. So we are talking about Zoom dates. And what is your opinion? It was the plus for our matchmaking process, or how it changed the matchmaking process? And really, if it was changed, or mostly the sense of the matchmaking process didn't change at all?
We have already experimented with Zoom dates during COVID because, well, people couldn't travel. And what we do international introductions. So, of course, for our clients, traveling, it's part of the appeal. And we were joking that we are like a hotel on Maldives, and you can't sell online trips to Maldives because people won't experience the same scene. But in our case, like, yes, you can travel to Ukraine now, but the goal is to meet the right lady and to build a relationship. And during COVID, we have started already adding ladies to our database, Ukrainian ladies who live in Western Central Europe, because prior to COVID, we were not accepting them into our database because all the dates, they were like in Kharkov or in Kiev. So the lady had to travel to Kharkov on her own cost to meet a gentleman. And really, ladies were traveling from all around Ukraine. But of course, it didn't make sense for a Ukrainian lady who lives, for example, in London or in Limassol, Cyprus, to fly to Kharkov for a date. And during COVID, we gave them this opportunity to join our database. And we have different type of people in our database. And right now, when I'm meeting ladies, Ukrainian ladies, like in Germany, in Poland, they are so different and they are so Ukrainian at the same time. So it is also a new experience. I would say that we can attract now different type of clientele. And most of our male clients, they are really international and cosmopolitan in a way that many gentlemen have traveled a lot, or they have worked in different countries, or they have this very international background. They are good with foreign languages, or they're interested in foreign languages and culture and history. So very, very unique type of clientele. And I feel proud and happy to work with these type of people. Many business people, many IT guys who work in IT and work remotely internationally. Because COVID has taught, and all the lockdowns, they have taught us that you can work from home, or you can actually have your team spread all around this globe. So why not to have a girlfriend who lives on the other side of the planet, and to have a reason to travel to see her? With Zoom dates, you have to do it right. If you're talking about Zoom dates, some people still have the stigma that, okay, that's not a real date. And everything depends on your attitude. Well, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, people were telling that, oh, if you have met on internet, that's not a real relationship. You can't build a relationship with someone you have met on the internet. And look at it now. Now, I think by official statistic, in US, every third couple that has gotten married, they have met online. So a Zoom date, it can be a good idea, especially for busy professionals, to have a Zoom talk first and then to meet in person, especially if you are talking about international dating. Of course, if you live in the same town, don't hide behind your computer. Go out, ask her out for coffee. If you live in the same town or in the same city, have that real date. You can have your second date by Zoom or by phone on any other messenger. If you are located, let's say, in UK and she is located in Germany, then it makes sense that you can have several Zoom dates, like 2 or 3, till you decide to meet in person somewhere. So it makes sense to me. And also during a Zoom date, on the one hand, you don't have this advantage of adding extra romance by a fancy dinner, by candles, by flowers, when the atmosphere adds to this date. On the other hand, if we are talking about a Zoom date, you can actually concentrate on getting to know each other better, on actually building a solid communication, asking the right questions, listening to what the other lady, what your dating partner, the lady, has to say to you. So it makes sense to me. Katerina, I think I have lost you for a minute, but I have been talking about Zoom dates. You can
I'm sorry.
listen later to what I had to answer. So Zoom dates, if you know how to do it right, it can be very beneficial. Some people tell that, hey, I don't want to learn. Same with texting. Like texting is such a huge part of our lives. And even if you have met in the same city, you have met, let's say, in Starbucks, local Starbucks, and your relationship is in traditional offline relationship, you have met in line, still you will be texting. It is inevitable. So you can't just skip texting. You can't just meet or call each other. So I would say that if you are younger than 60, maybe 65, you still will text each other to ask her out on a date, to ask how was her day, or to send her an emoji. She will be willing to send you pictures, and you will have to react to these pictures. And you can't just call her back after seeing her photo. So you have to learn how to do it. This is one of the modern languages of love, texting. So same with Zoom dates, with video dates, with sending photos. So if you want to date in 2023, you have to learn how to text. You have to learn how to do Zoom dating. You have to learn how to flirt when you do a Zoom date or when you send a text. You can't avoid it.
Yes, I agree with you that now we are living in absolutely unique maybe time that we didn't have this experience before, that a lot of our
And I think I have lost Katerina again. Somebody tries to call her and distract her from our Zoom interview. So when you're having a Zoom date with a lady, you have to make sure that this is...
Like I said to everyone that we are making video, and several people forgot and decided to call. I'm so sorry for this
interruption. That when you have a Zoom date, you have to make sure that this is not happening, that you're not distracted by a call, but it is live. And if, for example, you are having a Zoom call and somebody tries to call a lady, very often it's not her phone, not her fault. Not the fault of the lady, but of your phone, because the delivery guy who delivers the package here doesn't know that she is having a Zoom date. Or, for example, your friend, whom she hadn't seen in ages, has decided to call her at that exact moment. But we were talking about modern dating and how you have to keep up if you want to be doing it. We even had a client in his 70s, and he got married, and he also mastered Zoom dates and texting with his girlfriend and fiance and now wife. So you can learn. Of course, you have to put effort into it. If you will say that, oh, I don't want to do it, I just want it to be very classy and old-fashioned. And even some ladies sometimes tell me that, oh, I'm not going to join the dating service. I want it to happen naturally. What is naturally? What does it mean to me naturally? That you are meeting at the grocery store. And what after that will happen with this natural type of dating? He will ask for your phone number, and you will only go out on dates without texting in between. It's not going to work.
Yes, I agree with you that nowadays people, they have to become flexible and to not to take everything new as a challenge, but take it as an opportunity to learn something new, to make your life more various, more interesting. So of course, if you can learn doing something new, it's always like a new, fresh step in your life. So of course you have to do it. And if you're talking about long distance communication, can we discuss the most common mistakes that people do to prevent our subscribers, our clients from these mistakes, and how to think about them beforehand, not to have them in your communication? So what comes into your mind, like the most common mistake that people fall into, and it can really change their attitude between people or even ruin the communication that just started?
I can think of two quite common scenarios. The first one is when people don't take it seriously. So they had a fantastic offline date, they really liked each other, they had a fantastic weekend together, and then they kind of put it on hold, thinking that, okay, we will meet in 1 month, we already have the tickets, and in between I can just press stop, and I can put it on hold, and when we will meet in 1 month, or we will continue right on the moment when we have stopped and press that on hold button during our last offline meeting. And it's not going to work that way, because you have to build this romantic anticipation. You can build extra layers of romance. You can get to know each other so much better, so that when you meet 1 month after your last offline meeting, your communication can grow to the next level, and you can be super excited to meet each other. Or it can actually die off, and you would have to cancel the date, because the interest is lost. The lady has lost the interest. She's saying that, okay, he's not interested anymore because he's not texting, he's not initiating this communication, he's not investing time and effort. And the gentleman can think that, oh, I bought the tickets. Why isn't that enough? Well, that's not enough. Or the other opposite mistake, when people try to put their life on hold because now they have this communication and they want to communicate daily. I remember we had a client, and he didn't end up getting married, and he didn't build a relationship actually, because he didn't use our advice. Like he actually used none, and I think he did it backwards on purpose. So when we have told him that you have to after he has met ladies in Ukraine, he really liked one of the ladies. They had really strong chances to build a relationship. They had much in common. They liked each other, so the interest was mutual and strong. And we told the gentleman that now you have to establish the schedule when you will be doing Zoom calls with her. You should discuss it with the lady. Let's call her Yelena. You should discuss it with Yelena that, let's say, we're talking every Friday or every Sunday or twice per week. By Zoom dates, it can be a little bit too much at the beginning, but the gentleman thought that we know nothing about long distance relationship, so they will be talking every day. So every day for 2 hours. In his opinion, if the lady is not willing to do it every day for 2 hours, then she is not serious. And they have managed to keep this marathon, I think, for about 2 weeks before they both were exhausted, physically and mentally. Because, hey, before meeting each other, they already had lives and pretty tight schedules. Life is busy. So the lady had her classes. She was still improving her English in the evenings. She had her Pilates classes. The gentleman had his gym after work in the evening. And they have decided to give it up to have these conversations. And of course, when you like something like your English classes or your gym or your Pilates classes, and then you have to cancel it, you start missing these things, and you start thinking, why am I not in the gym? I really like it. And now I'm forced into these communications 2 hours per day. So instead of actually getting to know each other and building step by step this chemistry, they actually try to force this connection, and it didn't work. 2 hours every day, that was way too much. It was not, they were not anticipating these calls after 1 week. And we have warned the client, like, what are you doing? You are killing it, you are ruining it. And the lady as well. But the lady, she wanted to please the gentleman. And he was so adamant about having these calls every day for 2 hours and texting during the day. So they didn't get a chance to actually miss each other. And it was more like a chore. It was not like something you're looking forward to. Because when you anticipate something that, hey, I'm going to have a call with, let's say, William on Saturday, or having a call with Yelena on Saturday, you're looking forward to it. You start thinking about questions you will ask. You text in between, you tease each other. That, I will see you on Saturday, like that we are having a date. So people sometimes do it backwards. It's same when you, for example, try to boil an egg or to grow a plant. If you will put more water, it won't make this egg boil faster, or it won't make it tastier. Or if you will pour more water into the plant, into the pot, most likely you will kill it, but you won't make it blossom because you want it faster.
Yes,
so I
agree.
think these are the most common mistakes. So not taking it seriously and not investing time at all, or trying to cook that egg faster by adding more water, or like trying to make that plant blossom by adding more water, when people put too much effort and put their life on hold, basically, because now there is a girl or there is a guy they like.
Yes, I agree with you, and especially in general, if you are forced to do something, then of course you don't get pleasure from it. So if you're forced to talk every day, first of all, for people who don't know each other much, it's really complicated to talk every day for several hours, because they don't have too much in common yet. They don't know too much information about each other. So mostly these conversations, they will consist of many questions, because you don't know that person. You will ask a lot, and these dialogues, they will look really strange, because they will consist of huge number of questions. So of course it is better to make it like to add these video calls to your communication like spices. So you're looking forward to eat. You really think beforehand what will you discuss during this call, and of course it will be more interesting for people to communicate such a way. And also, I was talking about mistakes, what people do also during this long distance communication. I would say also that we see it from our experience that people jump into conclusions also very much. They don't like to ask each other about, for example, they have some misunderstanding. They didn't get the joke of each other, or some topic was strange for both of them, and instead of asking another person, what did you mean, or what did you want to say with these words, they start to think about it, to give another meaning to these words. And instead of talking about it, especially when you see a person offline, there are more chances to discuss the topic or something that made you feel confused. When you talk online, and especially if you know that the next call will be in several days, people start to add their imagination to this topic. And also, what is a very important feature of online communication, long-distance communication, is that you don't see the mood of another person, especially if you're talking about texting. If you meet in real life, if you see each other, if you're in offline relationship and you see each other, you can understand when the person is tired, when the person doesn't have too much mood to talk. For example, today we all are human beings, and maybe we had some unpleasant situation at work.
Katerina, sometimes even offline. I will share 2 examples really quickly, because I really like your point about stereotypes and about jumping into conclusions. For example, we have scheduled a date, an offline date. A lady was meeting a gentleman, and it was right when one of the new iPhones was just out, and it was brand new, and it was maybe out for like several days, maybe a week. And the gentleman, he has arrived on a date here, flew to Ukraine already with this brand new iPhone, and he went out on a date with a lady, And the lady, she is a huge fan of Apple. She had the previous model, which was the latest model 2 weeks ago, before the new model was out on the market. And she saw this new iPhone and she said like, oh, you have this new, and she tells the number, new phone, can I see it? And she asked to see it, and then she has asked several questions about the camera. Is it better? What is the difference between the latest model? And the gentleman, he got furious. He later on told us that she has asked me for a phone. She didn't ask you to buy the phone. She asked to see it. Like, she's an Apple fan. You have the new phone. So it makes sense that she has asked the question. No, she wanted me to buy her a new iPhone. And of course, they didn't proceed with the second date, even though the first date, before that phone conversation, there was mutual interest. And a quite similar situation happened when people were communicating by text. It was long distance communication. And the gentleman has asked the lady, like, what did you do today? And she said that she went shopping and she bought a dress. And then they continue texting, and she sends him a picture of her wearing this dress, and she sent him a few other photos showing like other dresses she tried, because she took some pictures in the fitting room. And she said that I ended up choosing this dress. She already bought it. And the gentleman gave me the feedback that she tried to persuade him to buy her dress. I even saw the correspondence, because he sent me print screens. She never asked him for a dress. So it was like, what did you do today? I went shopping. So what did you end up buying? The dress. And then they have switched into talking about his day. So I think that when she sent him photos in those fitting rooms, she was fishing for a compliment. And she was fishing for a compliment that she looks good in all the dresses, and probably that her dress that she ended up buying was the best. So when the lady sends you a photo, usually she wants a compliment. She wants a reaction that she looks good, if that's a picture of her. So it can happen both online and offline, that people jump into conclusions, that they rely on stereotypes, maybe on their past experiences, because like there was a girl that asked for a phone or asked for a dress, and now he's saying that all women are like that, or all Ukrainian women are like that, or all younger women are like that, or all beautiful women are like that. So it is very important not to jump into conclusions.
Yes, I agree with you.
Without knowing the context.
Misunderstandings, they can happen in offline relationship, in online relationship, and of course, if you don't understand the goal, why another person is telling you this information or is asking you this question, you always can speak about it. You always can ask. There is nothing serious.
But in this case, I wouldn't be recommended to ask a question. Do you want me to buy you a new phone? Or do you want me to buy you a new dress? So if you don't like this topic, if for whatever reason you feel that this topic triggers you, first of all, it's always a good idea to talk to a psychologist. Why you don't trust people, or why you bring your past experiences into your new communications. If you don't like this topic, you can change it easily. So you have talked about her day, about her dress. Now you are talking about your day. So talk about your day. Or she has asked about that phone, about pictures. You can distract a lady by a compliment. It all works in 80% cases. When you tell her a compliment, you compliment her English, for example, and then you can switch into asking her, how did she manage to learn the language so fast? Maybe she can give you some tips because you're learning Spanish, and you can start talking about this. If you don't like certain topic, if you know that this topic triggers you. In other cases, of course, it is always a good idea to ask.
And also I wanted to add that if you're talking about our clients, they have this great opportunity to get an honest feedback, because when they hire the team of matchmaking agency, when they work with a matchmaker, they always can ask about this question. They always have this third party that can explain the meaning of the situation, that can speak with both parties to understand what.
And we are always team client. So
yes,
the client has his own team of cheerleaders who cheers for him and who really try to do their best to make him succeed.
Yes, and it's important to understand why it is so valuable to have such a team. Because even if you're talking about this scenario when you have a misunderstanding during long distance relationship, even if you have a misunderstanding when you spend time together with a lady, you always have the full team of professionals whom you can ask for help and to help you to explain. Maybe it can be the cultural differences. Maybe it is based on a language barrier if you have some misunderstanding. So it's always great that you have a team of professionals whom you can ask and who can give you an honest feedback about what is happening, what were her thoughts when she was talking about it. And yes, you're absolutely right that if this topic is unpleasant for you, if you don't like it, you always can change it, and it always can be explained, I think, in some another way. And yes, it's always the communication with another person. It depends on both of you. So if you don't like something, you also make rules of this communication. So in your opinion, as I understand, and I think that our subscribers understand that when we add this step of long distance communication prior to the real meeting, like we do now with our clients, it really helps to spend their time more efficiently, yes, and to...
For some people, yes. There are people who don't know how to do texting and who don't want to learn. And for such people, of course, I would say it will be more complicated. But again, if you are choosing international dating, you have to keep in mind that there will be this stage of long distance communication, because you will have to be traveling back and forth. And I liked our old formats, and I think we will keep both formats in the future. So we will do offline dates first, and then long distance communication would follow. And we will do Zoom dates first, and then meetings will follow. Because we have a base of ladies who are located in Western Europe, Central Europe, in the United States and Canada as well. We even have a lady in China who lives there, Ukrainian lady. So it's so international now. If you choose international dating, and if you say that, oh, I hate traveling, international dating is not for you then, because you will have to travel. And people who choose international dating, for them, traveling is part of the appeal. They want to live through this romantic adventure. And of course, when you hire a matchmaker, this romantic adventure will be safe, because you will have a team of professionals who will be there to guide you, to help you, and who knows all the hidden catches, and we will help you avoid them. We will help you avoid falling for certain mistakes. And yes, if you're talking about international dating, it will cost money, because you will have to make those trips. So when people sometimes comment in our videos or send us emails telling that, oh, I don't have money for traveling. For example, I live in the US and I have money to make just one trip to Europe and I have to get married. You shouldn't even jump on this plane, on this train of long distance relationship, because you won't be able to build a relationship by one trip.
Mm-hmm.
You will have to have multiple trips. You will have to travel. The lady will have to travel. I'm not telling right now that all the costs will be on the man. If you are meeting in Europe, I have seen it when ladies were like driving for several hours, taking trains, buses to meet a gentleman, and because they are interested to do it. But if you can't afford traveling, don't even start with international or long distance relationship, because you will have to make trips. Even if you live in different states in the United States, you will have to make those trips. If you can't afford it, try to date locally then, because it won't work. You will end up disappointed. You will end up brokenhearted. You will think that, oh, I have spent money for that flight to Europe and I'm still single and unmarried. One trip is not enough to build a relationship and to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yes.
To really love a person, you have to get to know a person. So I would say that another biggest difference is that you have to be able to afford international dating. It's not for everyone, like traveling. Not all people can afford traveling.
Mm-hmm.
It's like buying a one-way ticket thinking that, okay, I will get back home. I don't know how. I will figure something out.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with you that international dating, it's for sure, it's not for everyone. It's if you're talking about hiring an international agency like matchmaking agency who will help you in this search, it will
I'm
be
not even talking about the cost for the matchmaking service. I'm talking about trips that you will have to fly or to drive, or gas costs money, or take those trains, stay in the hotel. So if you can't afford that, then probably you should date locally.
We can say that any relationship is a type of investment. You always invest into it. Your time, emotions,
your time, which is precious.
Yes. So of course you always invest something from your side into relationship. But
and when you build a relationship for a man, yes, you will have to take a lady out and probably pay for her dinner. I'm not trying to say right now that unless you have a private jet, don't jump into international dating. No, right now around Europe, there are so many low costs. You can buy a flight for 10 or 30 euros, or a train. I bought plane tickets to fly to Munich for the next video shooting with Sasha, and it was cheaper actually to board the plane than buy a train. So I ended up buying plane tickets. So no, of course not. But you have to be ready for these expenses. German and English, it's mixing in my head. You have to be ready for these investments. That not only you will have to invest time for the trips, but also money and your energy. And with time, sometimes people also underestimate it because, oh, I've made one trip. Now I will be able to take some vacation time in a year. No, it's not going to work. Of course, both sides should be interested, and the lady should think about her vacation time. And sometimes, for example, her work can be more flexible, or your work can be more flexible, or you both have flexible schedules. Then you can discuss when how you will meet. So it's not just you who will have to make the trips. Maybe the lady will fly to meet you, or you will meet in between. But you have to think about it beforehand. And yes, when you start dating, you will have to invest time, effort, money into this process.
Yes, I agree with you that it's always an investment, that international relationship, it's not for everyone. And also, if you're talking about investing time, then of course you invest time into long distance communication too, because it will be a big step of your relationship, of your communication. So you have to be ready for that. So I think that we have covered the most important points in this topic. You are always, all our viewers and subscribers.
I wanted to add something. Another mistake that I was thinking about is the fact that people, they don't want to add variety into their communication. So they do not try to be creative about the long distance communication. Like you mentioned, people start just asking questions. And people do it on dates as well. Questions is just one of the tools. So you go out on a date, and most of dating coaches, they preach that you have to ask questions. Yes, that's right. But it's not just about questions. It's same as telling that you have to drink water to be healthy. Not just about water. If you drink water and after that drink 3 beers, it's not going to work that way. So yes, you can ask questions and you can listen to the answer. But also you have to add storytelling, because if you stick to just questions, it will be like an online interview with all the endless questions. So you can also share a story, not just asking about her day, but sharing about your day, sharing a fun story. And then you will have this story to discuss. And she can either relate to the story, share a similar story. Videos, you can make funny videos for her. Sometimes people stick too much to this good morning, good evening, and it gets old too fast. Also, if you have commented that she is beautiful, later on you can comment it by audio, like you can actually film an audio for her or a video, like showing her your genuine reaction to her photo and telling her how beautiful she is, or telling about your day. It can be a really fun experience having this long distance communication. Today, later, I'm meeting a lady. She is the wife of our client. They are happily married for, I think, 7 years already, and they have 3 kids. very beautiful couple. They live in the United States, but the lady, she flies to Germany to meet some of her friends, and I'm so happy that we will connect for coffee. So this lady and this gentleman, they often tell me that they actually miss the letters they were writing to each other when they were already boyfriend and girlfriend, because they would have shared so much very personal information with each other. And now when they are married, sometimes they miss this connection, and they try to bring it back by writing romantic letters to each other. So it can be a very, very fun, very romantic part of your relationship. But again, a long-distance relationship, it's just a stage. You can't actually build a solid relationship only by Zoom, per Skype.
Yes, and as we see from this story, that it's always up to you to build it and to build the right attitude to the process. If you
attitude is the key.
Yes. So if you have a positive attitude and you take this process as a great opportunity to communicate with a new person, to get a lot of new information. When you talk about yourself, you also open yourself from different angles. So it's very interesting. And of course, if we didn't cover something in this video and you want us to discuss it more, you always can leave your comments below this video, and we will be happy to answer your questions, to bring up this topic again on some other topics. So
I will also leave the link to the podcast. We have a podcast with you. We have filmed one about long-distance relationship, and we have several more videos on this channel. So I think we have covered everything. We have so many videos, so much quality information, practical information that you can actually use and implement into your dating life. So right now, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, press like, and write to us in the comments below if you like our videos, if you want more of our videos. Don't forget to press that little heart.
Yes, and of course, we want to wish you to enjoy every step of your relationship, and to meet a special one, and to build serious connection together. And we are always here to help you with our recommendations, especially in our channel.
And you can support our channel by becoming a sponsor. You can press a special button called sponsor and become a Diolli friend, a Diolli lover, or a Diolli family. We want to thank all our Diolli friends, lovers, and Diolli family for supporting our channel. It means the world to us, so that among all channels on YouTube, fantastic channels, you choose our. And we will see you in the next video, I guess.
Yes, let's make a heart.
Yeah, traditionally.